What if the one voice silenced for over 2 decades finally spoke?
What's up? I'm Aaliyah, and if it's happening in entertainment, you can best believe it's happening on E!
R&B's angel taken far too soon may have left behind more than just music. Today, we dive into what's being called the secret diary of Aaliyah. What she wrote is emotional, disturbing, and shockingly revealing about some of music's biggest icons. Jay-Z, Diddy, and R. Kelly. Hidden love, power games, silent suffering. This is the story she never got to tell, but it's time the world heard it. Let's begin with the question on everyone's mind. Did Aaliyah actually keep a diary, and where did it come from? In recent years, whispers started online about private letters and handwritten pages kept in a locked box by Aaliyah's mother. Allegedly passed to a close family friend, these writings resurfaced after renewed interest in her life, thanks to documentaries and court cases involving R. Kelly.
I think
Some say it's authentic, others think it's fictionalized or dramatized for attention. But either way, the tone, the style, the language, it feels like Aaliyah. And even if just some of it is true, the emotional weight is undeniable.
Hurt your feelings.
they
too.
will. They
They'll
can be
hurt
pretty ugly.
you. See, they sit up there and they just write, you know, and they don't know that it's your life that they're dealing with.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They forget that.
But when it's good,
It's really
you should
good.
bathe in the good ones.
Totally.
You know, because
Let's unpack the most jaw-dropping parts. Jay-Z was on the rise in the late 90s, smart, ambitious, and respected in the industry. Aaliyah, on the other hand, was the mysterious, graceful rising queen of R&B. In several entries, Aaliyah refers to a man she calls the strategist, someone always watching her from afar. Here's a direct quote allegedly from her diary. "He stands in the back, eyes sharp, never interrupts. But when we talk, I feel like he's listening to my soul." Many fans believe this was Jay-Z. He was close to her inner circle and reportedly had feelings for her, but never made a move. Enter Dame Dash, Jay-Z's then best friend and business partner. Dame and Aaliyah started dating, but the diary suggests she may have sensed a rivalry beneath the surface. "Sometimes I wonder if I'm just a pawn in their friendship. I don't want to be a prize." What does that tell us? That Aaliyah may have felt caught in the middle of two powerful men, with no real say in how the industry or her love life was playing out. Next up, Diddy, then known as Puff Daddy. He was at the top of the music world. Bad Boy Records, flashy music videos, and an empire in the making. Aaliyah's diary refers to someone she calls the executive. With diamond rings and velvet lies, she writes, "He offers the world, but takes pieces of you with every promise." It sounds like she was skeptical, maybe even uncomfortable, around Diddy. Industry rumors had long linked him to attempts to sign or manage her, but there was always tension about creative control. One chilling line reads, "They say he makes stars. I say he makes puppets."
Understand.
It's hard to ignore the tone, not admiration, but suspicion. While there's no confirmed feud between them, it's clear that she distrusted the business side of things, and Diddy may have represented that very machine. Could this be a glimpse into the pressures young artists face when powerful figures see them as investments instead of people? This next part is tough, because no story about Aaliyah is complete without confronting R. Kelly. She was only 15. He was 27. Their secret marriage was annulled, but the emotional scars, they remained. Aaliyah's diary is said to have multiple pages dedicated to him, none of them romantic. One particularly disturbing line reads, "He made me feel like I owed him my silence. Like if I spoke, he'd crumble, and I'd be blamed." She describes feeling confused, ashamed, and betrayed by adults who should have protected her.
But I mean, you know, we're making major strides. I mean, especially even in rap, we have a lot of female rappers that are really doing well. And like I said, I myself really haven't encountered anything.
She wrote, They said he believed in me, but belief doesn't leave bruises on the soul. These aren't just words. These are wounds. It reveals the silent pain she carried, even as she smiled on red carpets and topped the charts. Her entries also suggest that others knew, that there were whispers, conversations, and people turning a blind eye. And that makes the silence all the more haunting.
How did you hook up with R. Kelly?
He's my best friend, really. We've been knowing each other for around 3 years. And I met him before he came out with Born into the 90s. Through my manager, which is also his manager.
Right.
That's how we met. And I sang for him when I first met him. And
Fame can be dazzling.
Aaliyah, right here. Right here. Aaliyah, right up here.
Can you keep back up a little bit? This way? Nice.
But for many young women in the music industry, especially Black women, fame comes with a shadow. Aaliyah's diary didn't just name names. It reflected a reality far too many artists have lived but could never speak of. She was surrounded by power, men with money, control, influence. And yet, in her own words, she felt powerless. She wrote, "They love the idea of me, but do they love the me that's real? The me that says no?" That single line says everything. She knew what she represented, a fantasy, a brand, a marketing tool. But deep down, she also knew she had something far more valuable: her voice, her soul, her agency. The tragedy is that the very people who promised to protect her were the ones who made her question that. In a different entry, she says, "My voice gets softer the more they speak for me, and soon I won't hear myself at all." That's not just personal pain, that's a warning. It speaks to the systemic silencing of women in the music world. Women who are groomed for success, then gaslit when they ask for control. Women praised for their talent, but punished when they assert their boundaries. Aaliyah wasn't just caught in one bad relationship. She was caught in a culture where saying no could end your career. She was strong, she was self-aware. She was evolving into a woman who could finally set her own terms. But the system wasn't ready for that version of her. Maybe it never wanted her to get there at all. This part of her diary doesn't name anyone specifically, but its message is crystal clear. Fame is a leash, and the tighter it shines, the harder it chokes. Aaliyah's voice was taken from us far too soon, silenced not just by tragedy, but by the weight of an industry that often chooses profit over protection. But now, maybe, her voice is being heard again, not through interviews, not through headlines, but through her own words, whispered across pages she never meant for the world to see. This diary, whether it's real, partially real, or just painfully accurate fiction, reveals something deeper than gossip or scandal. Let that sink in. She wasn't just a muse. She wasn't just someone's girl or someone's artist. She wasn't just a product of 90s pop culture. She was a mirror to an industry that fed off of her youth and innocence. A mirror to the fans, the press, the labels. A reflection of what happens when the world wants to own your light, but never protect your flame. Today, when we say Aaliyah's name, we honor her music. But we must also honor her truth, because her legacy isn't just the songs she left behind. It's the story we finally have the courage to hear. And that story, in all its rawness and pain, is still unfolding. Aaliyah was ahead of her time in more ways than one. And now, the time has come to finally listen.
Aaliyah, I think, was one of the sweetest spirits I've ever met. Like, it's no words for how beautiful of a person that she was. It's so unfortunate that she's not here, but her spirit, her energy definitely lived on, and I'm so happy that I had a chance to meet her.
Aaliyah wasn't just an R&B star. She was a blueprint, a vision of effortless style, cool confidence, and quiet defiance in an industry that often demanded submission. Before Beyoncé ruled the charts, before Rihanna disrupted the rules, there was Aaliyah. She didn't shout, she didn't rage, but she moved differently, and the world noticed. The legacy she left behind was more than music videos and magazine covers. It was a challenge to the system. And now, with the whispers of her diary reaching the surface, her story is evolving, becoming less about tragedy and more about truth. This diary, whether confirmed or not, taps into a collective reckoning happening right now in music, in film, in power structures across the globe. We are finally asking, who did we fail? Who did we silence? And how do we make sure it never happens again? Aaliyah's story is not just hers anymore. It's part of a larger conversation about protecting young voices, believing women, and holding giants accountable. Now we turn to you. What do you think of Aaliyah's diary? Do you believe the words were hers? Or are they just painfully close to the truth we all ignored? Do you think Jay-Z stayed silent for a reason? Was Diddy protecting her? Or protecting himself? And will R. Kelly's damage ever be fully uncovered? We want to hear your voice. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more raw, untold stories from music and celebrity culture. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell, because we're only scratching the surface.